Om Sahanam Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Amit, are you new to class? Amit? Um, I don't know why new. Hariom, Amar. Glad to see you back. You're muted, so I can't hear you.
After all finishing my projects and all, just last week only. So I
Oh,
thought to.
good, good. Welcome. Um, Amit, are you new? I don't know why new people don't speak to me. Do I look very frightful or something? I don't know what I appear. Okay. So we are studying. In case you're new, all I'm going to do is tell you this is the book we're studying, and we are on the chapter on desires. How we chase desires in the hope of um, finding happiness. So we're constantly courting desires to find happiness. One set of people say, I don't want to deal with these desires. I want to pretend that I don't have them because it's messy. This whole dealing with your desires is very messy. This dealing with your desires means what you go out and work, then you make some money, then you buy what you want. Messy. Then you get married, have a relationship, big mess. Then you have children, biggest mess. Anything you do, it's very messy in this world. Nothing is very clear and all that. Oh, Shakil, are you new to the class? So, now it's a messy affair dealing with that. So some people they forget it. I don't want to do any of this stuff. It's much easier to not do anything. Don't get married. Don't go to work. Don't do all these things. Don't whatever. Nothing. Just don't do it. It's simple. Such people become frustrated, repressed, irritated. They're always angry about something or the other. Little bit also. No, you all can't hear properly. Okay. All right. So people who don't want to deal with their desires because it's so messy, right? They become suppressed and they become repressed and they get very angry and they get very like, I don't want to, anything they see. They will see one young couple going somewhere, they are angry. Right? But if that young couple does whatever or not they do, why are you angry? So they just get angry with everything. Oh, these horrible rich people. Who says horrible rich people? Those who are frustrated in their desires. oh, these rich people are so bad. Why are all rich people are bad? Where on earth did you get this concept from? So when you become repressed in your desires, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're irritated, you're not living a fulfilled life. All right, then let's go fulfill desires. That is what Rajneesh used to say. Yeah, yeah, go fulfill desires. And when you fulfill desires, more problems start. Not more problems, just as many problems start, which we have now studied. So I'm not going back into. So now what do you do? It's very tough. It's very, very tough. You can't fulfill it, you can't suppress it, then what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to gain knowledge, you're supposed to gain wisdom, you're supposed to deal with it properly. Okay, so what does that mean? In technical language, it means basically reduction of vasanas. What are vasanas? It's just another word for ignorance of the self. So as you work towards going closer and closer to the self, you gain so much hold on your own desires that you're able to fulfill them in such a way that they don't trouble you. Nowadays, whenever you try to fulfill a desire, it troubles you. You have a desire for marriage, you get married, it troubles you. You have a desire for money, you get money, it troubles you. So it's a very, very difficult thing trying to fulfill. You look, no, all the corporate executives, they'll tell you how much stress they have. You say a mother, young mother with children, two young children. What will she tell you? What is her experience of life? What? Nobody knows a young mother with two children. What is her experience of life?
All stress, no sleep.
All stress, no sleep, so much irritation. Oh, the husband is not looking, mother-in-law is not looking, whatever. So much stress. Everything. You got children because you wanted children. Now you got children, now you happy. No, now you're very stressed. This is life. So will we tell her now don't have children? No, you can't say that to her. So will you tell her have children? Oh, no, yes, you have to have children, but please gain knowledge of the self along with it. Don't only have children. Get the knowledge of the self as well. So that you know how to deal with your. And it's not with children, even with the staff. The children are driving you mad, the staff is driving you mad. Okay, you can't get rid of your children, get rid of your staff. No, 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 I can't get rid of my staff. Which part of life are you enjoying? So, what do? You try and understand the mechanisms going on. We have ignorance of the self. What is knowledge? Knowledge tells you what's going on. What do we get? We have vasana. We have ignorance of the self. We don't know the self. This state of not knowing the self is known as vasana. When you have a vasana, it manifests as a thought, then a desire, then an action. So your vasanas determine your intellectual condition, your mental condition, and your physical condition. It also determines what you're going to get. So dealing with these vasanas is a very important aspect of life. They create your world and they create further vasana. Not only you have what you have, they are busy increasing also. Another synonym for vasanas is deep sleep. Now you must understand this thing correctly. This is how do you know that deep sleep is vasanas? You can't ask that question because can anyone tell me why?
Vasanas are beyond the intellect.
Yes, that is proper. That is true. But you can't say how do you know vasanas is deep sleep?
There are no thoughts.
Okay, by definition. Remember, it's always by definition. Therefore, we can't ask, is it so? Because it's something we are calling it. Now, how do we say this that your deep sleep is vasanas? Think about this. There's a logical framework in which this works. Do y'all want to listen to the logical framework? Sometimes I don't know, unnecessary technical. Okay. Prakash's iPhone. To avoid a stress, messy, etc., is it okay to live brahmachari life? Excuse me if this is a foolish question. No, this is the most natural question, but we already covered that. No, you will not sort the issue out by living a brahmachari life if you have those desires. It's very easy and nice and wonderful to live a life of a brahmachari. But if you have desires, that option is not available to you because you have the desires. So how can you do that? Then you become, if you have desires and you live like that, you'll become a frustrated mess. Just get very frustrated. And how will this show up in our life? That we are very frustrated because our desires are not fulfilled? Out of anger. That is a very good thing. You just get angry with everybody and everything. But okay, now this does not justify so much anger. You start getting angry, unreasonably angry. You feel disgust all the time with whatever people are doing. Anything you see, it's irritating, it's disgusting to you. How can they behave like this? All these are indications of frustration. We have the same vasanas on getting up. Yeah, that's correct, Mamita. But why do we say it? Because by definition, and there's a logical framework in which we say it. So, what is the logical framework? That we have manifested thoughts, desires, actions that everybody knows, right? That is a Swayam Siddha truth. It's a first principle that you have thoughts, you have desires, you have actions. Everybody knows that. Now, when you go to sleep, what happens to those? They have not gone. Therefore, the only explanation is that they are in the unmanifest state. This unmanifest state of the thoughts, desires, and actions is what we are calling vasanas, what we are calling deep sleep, what we are calling ignorance of the self. They're all the same in that framework. Always remember that a philosophy is in a certain framework. So in this framework, it all equates to the same because it's all talking about unmanifested, the unmanifested being, which means his thought, desire, and action. I hope that's clear. Because otherwise people say, how do you know vasanas exist? How do you know deep sleep is vasanas? You can't ask any of these questions. The unmanifested form is what we have called vasana. All right, is that clear? All right, so now let's go on further. Why is this highlighted? Okay, so even if you don't know, even if you don't currently experience agitations, you still have to work on and getting the knowledge of the self. Why? Even if you're not agitated, even if you're an entirely happy person, you still have to work on gaining the knowledge of the self. Very good, Deep. Because whether you're agitated or not, you know for certain that the desires exist. You are aware of this. That means as long as the desire exists, the potential for agitation exists. It's just a matter of what happens in the world. If the world caters to you in exactly the right way, at exactly the right time, suppose you want a mango. But if the world caters to you in exactly the way you want it, what you want, when you want, how you want, then you'll be happy. But if this changes in any way whatsoever, you can't be. For instance, say you want a mango. It's getting very hot in Mumbai, right? When it gets very hot in Mumbai, you know that mangoes can't be very far away. So you now start thinking, oh, it's so hot, no doubt we will get mangoes soon. You start thinking. And so you want a mango. Now, if I ask you, do you want a mango? Your answer is yes. Then suppose I say, okay, fine, you want a mango, I'll give you the world's best mango. And you're like, okay, very excited. I will get it for you. Okay, very good. Now at night, 2 o'clock, you're sleeping. I come and wake you up and I say, you know, you wanted that mango. Here is the world's best mango. Eat it. Will you be happy with me? You take a stick and come. Pagal log hai. 2 baje raat ko. Can't you wait till morning to give me that mango? I'm fast asleep. I was dreaming I was getting a Nobel Prize. You woke me up saying, here is a mango to eat. Right? So you're getting what you want. You're getting how you want, but you're not getting when you want. So that will not work for you either. Therefore, you can easily understand that
The potential for agitation is there.
as long as very good. I'm so glad you're following the line of thought. I hope you all knew what this mango was all about. Otherwise, now everyone has gone on mango. Okay, clear? What are we trying to establish? That as long as you have a desire, as long as anyone has a desire, the potential for agitation always exists. So therefore,
Gain knowledge.
Work on gaining the wisdom.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yours
very
relatively.
excellent. That is why the great Shankara says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Moodhamate, Samprapte, Samnihite Kale, Nahi Rakshate Dukrun Karne. So seek the Lord, Bhaja Govindam, seek the Lord, seek the Lord, seek the Lord. For when the time comes, what is the time which will come?
Death.
Okay. What are in context? What is the time which will come?
Agitations.
And your desire comes catered to.
When your desires are not catered to. Very good. When that time comes, samprapte means having got. Sannihite kale. Sannihiti means end time. The kal has come, the time has come. For what? For the catering to stop. Nahi rakshati dukrun karne. Nothing in this world. Dukrun karne refers to grammar rules because dukrun karne is a grammatical rule from Panini. So it represents any worldly thing. So want help? Imagine, no, I wake you up in the middle of the night trying to make you eat a very, very nice mango. Now you can't go back to sleep because you're getting so angry. Like, पागल है तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो मुझे in the middle 2 o'clock at night कोई आम देता है क्या? You're so angry. Now, whatever else in your life is good, will you be able to go back to sleep? Will you? Yes? No? Say something. The thing is, nothing in the world will help you go back to sleep again because now you're irritated, you're angry, it's the middle of the night. Nothing can help. Suppose you're very, very upset about something. Suppose I tell you, suppose you didn't get a promotion at work which you were expecting, and you're extremely upset about it. Can I come and tell you, why are you so upset about that? Your wife is so good, your husband is so good. Won't help. Suppose a girl is crying and crying and crying that her boyfriend has left her. Suppose you'd go and tell her, see, your parents are so good. Is she going to stop crying? Suppose you say, you're so pretty, she'll cry even more. The thing is that it won't help. All the other things won't help. You will not even recognize their existence. So, therefore, along with fulfilling your desires, what do we have to do?
Gain self-knowledge.
Gain knowledge.
Very good. Gain the knowledge of the self. If you mess up on that one, then nobody can help you when the time comes. That is why the great Kabira says,
दुख में सिमरन सब करे
very good. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोय, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे, दुख काय को होय. Right. So now, what is the seeking of the self? I hope everyone understood that. It means in times of sorrow, everybody remembers God, but no one in times of joy. Those who remember in times of joy, why would they have sorrow? Because you have, along with fulfilling your desires, you have also worked on the gaining of the knowledge of the self. You have realized that the one thing on which you have no compromise is that one. Everything else you're willing to compromise. Because when the time comes, none of the other things are going to help you. All the fulfilled desires are not going to help you then, no matter what all you have fulfilled. Bill Gates was the richest man. I don't know whether he's still the richest man. Then, for whatever reason, he and his wife split. Whatever sorrow he and his wife had with that split, well, they must have, even if they've been together for so long, right? So, whatever it is, there must have been pain. Did all the wealth that he possesses, that both possess, help them in that time? We have to bear the pain for whatever it's worth. And we want help. So the one thing we have to do is keep this going constantly. Now, what is this thing? Let us read that now. The self is the state of the absolute reality or the transcendental. I don't know why this is come in bold. Can someone please keep track of if we find anything that shouldn't be there? So, will anyone volunteer? Mahesh, can you keep track of any changes? Do you have the physical book? Na? Can you just write over there that this?
Yeah, I'll do it.
The state of the self the self is the state of the absolute reality or the transcendental. Avidya, ignorance of the self, is the cause of all troubles and pain in our lives. The knowledge of the self is the ultimate wisdom. When we gain knowledge of the higher aspects of life, our interest in the lower wanes away. When we gain knowledge of the higher aspects of life, our interest in the lower wanes away. Wisdom is the ability to see the truth. The more we see it, the less tossed and buffeted we are. Vasanas or desires inhibit our capacity to see the truth. So this is, it's inversely proportional. The more the vasanas, the less the capacity to see the truth. The more you see the truth, the less the vasanas. These two are inversely proportional. If you increase one, the other decreases. Now, when you increase the avidya portion, that means you just can't see it for what it is. What will happen? You can't see this wall for what it is. What will you do? You will walk into it over and over and over until
Begin to see it.
you see it. And once you see it's a wall, then what will happen?
Never
Won't
again.
happen.
All the agitation is gone. Like that. That is the use of knowledge. You're just seeing it for what it is. But this is where the problem lies. That it's so tough. You know, a lady will come to me. I don't know whether I should say this because you don't spend your time figuring out which is this lady. But a lady comes to me. Okay, she is extremely unhappy and she is weeping and sobbing. And she says that my husband is X, Y, or Z, whatever her complaints are. Let us say that, let's give him some complaint. Let's say that he is very angry and he's always shouting and screaming. Okay. You give him some issue that he has. He's angry, he's whatever issue you want to give him, you can give him. She will come, she will cry, she will say that he's so angry. She will say that he gets angry and he insults me. She will say that he does, in his anger, he does X, Y, or Z. But the one thing she doesn't get is that she goes on and on repeating, that day all I did was I said, why is this pillow here? And then he got so angry with me, he started throwing the pillow at me, this, that, and the other. Then you say second, then again she'll say, you can't interrupt because they are in full stream. And she'll say, that day I did nothing. But the servant only went and he was dusting over there. He got so angry, he said, I'll throw this guy out. She will give you 45 examples like this. The one thing she doesn't get is that what is the most obvious thing here? She has a hot-tempered husband. She is claiming this, no? Every time he gets angry, she will say, he did this and he did that. Excuse me, do you get it what you're saying? You yourself are claiming you are married to a hot-tempered person. He gets unreasonably angry and he behaves very unreasonably after he's angry. Do you get it? But how can he talk like this? I don't understand. You're telling me that it is raining and you're telling me, I don't understand. How come it's raining? Do you get it that it is raining? It is. Nobody gets it. But he shouldn't behave with his wife like that. I don't know whether he should or he shouldn't. I can say that he is. Do you get it? Now you decide for yourself. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I want to stay here. Then what should you do if you wish to stay here? Make a cause and effect relationship. We are not giving any advice of what anyone should do. If you want to stay here, what will you have to learn? What will you have to do? Why are you so quiet? You'll have to learn to deal with it. At least don't aggravate it. At least don't say, how can you do this? At least when he is doing it, don't try to tell him, don't do it. Because that's him. Get it. We just can't get it. Why can't she get this?
She's ignorant.
because of her desires
Yes, which desire?
of getting everything her way, means a reasonable way.
Of her desire to have a husband who is not hot tempered.
Hmm.
She can, I mean, she's telling you that he's so angry, he's so this, and then she'll talk as if she's quite surprised. You know what he did? I don't get it. If that's the kind of person he is, then this is the kind of thing he'll do. What here has surprised you? You have to learn. If you, I'm not saying you have to stay there, but if you choose to stay there, you can't be surprised at this behavior. You can't be hurt at this behavior. You can't act like, oh my God, you know what he did this time? What were you expecting? Please, I am not trying to say that he's doing the right thing. Please understand it, but it is what it is. If you do not see it for what it is, there is no way you're going to deal with it. It's a very, very odd thing how people can go on telling you that something is like this, but will not get it themselves that something is like this. It's a very odd thing. It's nothing to do with that lady. It's like each and every human being is like that. They will say, the government is so corrupt. And when they meet corruption, they will say, oh my God, you know what I meant? What were you thinking? Your theory was the government is corrupt, and now you met corruption, so you should say correct. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. Common sense, right? Bharat, isn't the complaint about his behavior rather than his nature? Well, his behavior is only a consequence of his nature, right? He's as helpless in what he is doing as you are in what you are doing. It's not like a hot tempered person has the option to not get angry. If he has to have that option, he'll have to do a lot of work on himself. So, as long as he is not doing that work, he will stay the way he is. That's just it, right? Get used to it. Learn not to trigger him. Yes, okay, Deep Raj, that is one thing she can do, but she can learn not to aggravate it at least. But most people who are with angry people will aggravate it. They will tell them things like, why are you getting angry? Then aggravate them. Okay? You shouldn't behave like this. Aggravate them. Put fuel in the fire. Here is a person who's losing his head. You make it such that he will lose his head even further. Have you heard of this thing called de-escalate? De-escalate. Because that guy is not capable of controlling himself. Your role in life becomes to de-escalate. Because you allow this to go forward, it will go. It's a fire, it will rage. So it's like you don't get it. You don't get, nobody gets. It's not like a person doesn't get it. Nobody gets it. Every one of us are agitated over the same things over and over again. We have no creativity in our agitations. It's the same thing over and over again. Who else? Deepak, why are you crying? In another man's fate, I weep my own, is it? Yeah, we're all in this condition. We won't get it. Even though as we say that so and so is such and such, we don't get it. Momita, what to do with friends who get upset when you tell them that they cannot keep complaining about the same thing? You stop telling them. What else? Same cause, same effect. That's life, right? Cause doesn't change, effect won't change. Okay, so just seeing the truth. Now you'd say, it is so easy. Tell that person, see the truth. Oh, she's got married to a hot tempered person. You can't tell her that. She will sob, she will weep, she will feel victimized by the situation, she'll feel helpless by the situation. You can't say a thing to her. Why not? Why not? Why can't I tell that lady, you have a hot-tempered husband, he will behave in a hot-tempered manner. You get it. I can't say that to her. It will amount to cruelty. Why not? Because if she had any capacity to see that, she would not be coming to me. Now, why does she not have that capacity? What happened? Y'all are following flow of thought? Yeah. So why can she not do it? I can tell her, it is the way it is, get used to it. It's a useless piece of advice for her because
The desire is too strong.
very good. Remember the line we just read?
She can't see it because of her desires.
Very good. Where is that line? The more, okay, so as long as you cannot see the truth, the desire is there. As long as the desire is there, you cannot see the truth. Now you enter this story and you tell people, see the truth, see the truth. But they don't have the capacity. It can't be done. They will continue to be what they are unless they make some attempt to gain the knowledge of the self. So if I tell this lady, okay, now you better start gaining the knowledge of the self, she will write me off as a even stupider person. Because of kya? Now I'm telling you I've got a horrible husband, you're telling me gain knowledge of the self. Is there any connection? Is there any connection between the question and the answer? That will be her view. And rightly so. And yet the fact remains. She won't be able to execute this one either, but the fact remains. So, what are we trying to do? I hope you're getting what we are trying to do. What we are trying to do is only understand this concept that
So long as desire is there, truth will be masked.
very good. You will not be able to see it. Nobody will be able to. That's the sad state. Can you go to a corrupt official, tell him that, you know what, you want to build Vedanta University? That is going to help so many people for so many generations. You do what you want with anyone else, but from this cause you don't take. Do you think he will accept that? He will say, as most people, as what he'll say. सब बोलने की बात है. Everybody says that we have a cause. सब बोलने की. He can't see it. And if he can't see it, it is his limitation. What can you do? He can't see it. So once you're able to understand, the important thing today, you take away for today, really, is to be able to see this clearly, that desires and truth cannot coexist. As long as I have a desire, I will not know the truth. As long as I know the truth, I cannot have a desire. These can't coexist. It's one or the other. Actually, now that we're here, maybe what everyone can do in the class, and let's get into the habit of it, that when you come across these very important concepts in Vedanta, such as how desire and truth cannot coexist. So maybe in the course of this week, you can grapple with this concept and come up with examples, maybe in your own life, in somebody else's life, where you actually can see this taking place. How only one or the other is seen. Either the desire is seen or truth is seen. Both are not seen together. It's like the rope and the snake. Either the rope is seen or the snake is seen. Both are not seen together. So maybe let's give ourselves an exercise for this week, that we grapple with this concept and come up with examples. You can do them from literature, from your life, from somebody else's life, but just come up with examples of how these two do not ever coexist. And how, when they don't coexist, what is the mental state of the person who is not able to see it? Okay, will you all do that for the course of this, in the course of this week? Yeah, give me a thumbs up, those who are not at least. Okay, so what is your exercise for the week? Clear? So 2 steps. One is desire and truth cannot coexist. You could understand this how. How when someone has this desire, he won't see the truth. If he sees the truth, he won't have this desire. Okay? Number 1. Number 2 is when he doesn't see the truth and he has the desire, what is his mental state? Because if we get this much, a good thing we have got. So, mom, okay, everybody fine? So far, so good. I didn't see a thumbs up from everybody. What happened? I only saw a few. Okay. I don't know. Next time, you can share also in the class. If you come up with a very good example that helps, that will probably help everybody else also. Please share it also in the class. Momita, we can speak our mind clearly when times are calmer for them though. It's not a matter of whether things are calmer for them or not. It's more a matter of are they available? Because they are calm and you speak, then they'll get agitated. So they have to be available for that. There has to be some inherent question that they have, or it's not like they have to go down on their knees and say, please tell me, you're my guru. Not like that, but there must be some question or some wish to know. Most people don't even have a wish to know. You can't go to people and tell them this is what's wrong with you, because they'll say, mind your own business. So even if they are calm, they may not be willing to listen. And why should they? So what we can do if we want to help our others is usually work on helping ourselves. Because the better we get at it, the better we can instinctively help others. So we have to be fully in, or as much in control or struggling, seeing our own faults ourselves. None of these things are easy. Because, the ego is terrified of its own faults. It doesn't like anyone poking around there, because the moment you accept something is wrong with you, you are now duty bound to do something about it. Who wants to put in this time, effort, and energy? So it's not about whether they are calm enough, it's also about whether they are interested enough. Yes, Rekha.
So can the change happen incrementally?
Yes, of course, it does. Very often it does. But any effect will take place when there's a cause. I mean, assuming a person is working, 2 things are possible. Either it goes incrementally, or it goes, the Upanishad has referred to it as a frog's jump. So sometimes it just jumps. Sometimes it grows incrementally. Anything is possible. But that is an effect. The effect needs a cause. So what is the work the person has put to change? Okay. why would a person who walked the path would not have interest? Because it's never fully black and white, Jayashree. When people are walking the path, not everybody is 100% in. It's for some, they're interested. I mean, it's layers of it. Today, Mahesh, writing for the website, writing for to tell the thing, he wrote out a whole very nicely. Actually, he wrote out what is the he categorized the students. What was he categorized them as? First category of students, those who, you say, those who are dedicated and consume the offerings. That is their language of the website, means they attend classes or whatever else they do, and they participate in. They totally dedicated. There's a core team participating in the karma. Then second one, he said they are. But no, what I don't remember what he made some. I made some changes. Finally, we came to this that they attend classes regularly and they participate in the activities of what is going on. I mean, they're part of the group that makes things work here. Then second one, line attends regularly and does what?
No karma.
Does karma when,
Less karma or no karma?
Does
Karma when
karma
convenient.
whenever it's convenient. Whenever they feel like it, whenever it's convenient. Then the third category, irregularly attend classes. And the fourth category, the wider public who is interested in it, they take our other offerings. They'll see YouTube or whatever. They just do random stuff. Right? So now, who amongst these would you say is walking the path? If you take the kind of definition you have used, तो फिर आप बाहर ही जाएंगे, कोई यहाँ है ही नहीं path पर. But there is a gradation. If everyone, so they do up to some extent. It's like saying who in this school is studying. So there'll be a gradation, right? There'll be some who are like totally dedicated to their studies. They know what they're doing, they know why they're doing. Oh, first lot, they come first in class. Whoever wants notes goes to them. Then there's a second lot. Okay, they're studying, but sort of. And then there's a third lot, key. Previous day of the exam, they'll study. So all of them are students. You can't deny they're studying because wo to class mein hai hi. But there's a gradation. Okay, so why would a person who walks the path not have interest? Depends on like, what are you doing? How? Like in our case, is Vedanta your life? Is Vedanta a part of your life, but a uncompromised part of your life? Is it a compromised part of your life in the sense that, so there's a different thing. I mean, are you living life, taking decisions based on your Vedanta work and knowledge, or are you living life कि मैं जो कर रहा हूँ और वेदांता आ रहा है मेरा साथ? Is Vedanta going with you or are you going with Vedanta? There's a difference, no? So now, why would the person who walked the path not have interest? They have interest, but there's relation. Okay, Jayashree? Momita. Maybe I need to look at my desire to influence their thinking. Remember, where does desire come from?
Vasanas.
Ignorance of the self. So don't worry about each individual desire, worry about ignorance of the self. Because just keep consistently working on that. It's like taking a broom and wiping everything out. It's the difference between psychology and philosophy. Psychology says each problem you go, you analyze, you work on, all that. Philosophy says, ye jhadu hai, isko istemal karo. Sweep the whole dirt out. So if it's a very powerful desire, if it is something that's interrupting your life, only then we worry about individual desires. Otherwise, do the sadhana. Don't worry about all this. All the mess inside is the mess inside. Ab kya kare na kare. Here's a broom. That's all that can be done.
But actually, philosophy does, psychology does help. It's like an ally to philosophy. So,
Yes, of course it helps, but now you have to determine, is this desire worth going into the uh, whole story, or it will go on the normal, I don't know, desire to influence their thinking. I don't know how strong it is. If it's very strong, then yes. If it's very, very strong, you may need therapy. If it's very, very, very strong, then you may need medication. I mean, depends on where this is going.
no, but like, for example, a while back, you told us to consider examples from our own life where the principle comes up. So we anyway do that. I do that. So that is in line with both psychology and philosophy. And that it is not because I'm not examining it because it is, and sometimes it is, but I can't really make out at that moment. But
So the idea here is you have philosophically, you have a principle for which you're finding examples. Like in psychology, you have that particular case. That's your case. You're not doing any, what should I say? You're not worrying about the general truths of life. You're worrying about that particular thing. And that's necessary. I'm not denying its need. I'm saying that's the difference between the approaches. When it's needed, it's needed.
isn't purification of the mind in religion similar to what we do, what psychology addresses?
Yeah. It's the same in terms of the end result. But the methodology of philosophy is you understand the truth, all this will go away. The methodology of psychology is let's take whatever you are getting agitated about and deal with that. They're approaching from two different sides.
But they help in the same way, right? I mean,
Of course, even
Beside-
meditation, I mean, all the way down to physical also.
right.
You have to take whatever help is required. Knowing what is the philosophy gives you the whole picture. Medicine will deal with one thing, particular thing. Then psychology will deal with another level of things. So everything is necessary. It depends on what the issue is.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's go ahead.
Chankiji, 1 point, please.
Mhm.
Yeah, so in the case of this wife who could not understand the hot-tempered husband, how would psychology address that? Because if the desire to see a calm husband is too strong, how would psychology help you?
I mean, here maybe psychology will help more than philosophy will help, because then she'll go to therapy, then they'll talk about it, then they'll say, "Oh, in my childhood, I got very upset." I am not very familiar with the methods of psychology and therapy, but they go into the analysis of that particular problem a lot. Like they will say, okay, he's behaving like that, bring him also, let us see whether we can do. Then she'll go back, she'll say, you come. Then he'll say, what nonsense, there's nothing wrong with me, everything is wrong with you. If you were not there, I would not get so angry. All that. Then she'll go back to a therapist, and then she will say, no, he's not willing to come. Then the therapist will say, okay, so understand that you are also getting triggered in this. If he's getting angry, why are you getting triggered? So what reason are you getting triggered? How best to handle it? How to comport yourself with greater dignity, so that same thing, don't escalate, de-escalate. I mean, philosophy tends to take it as like one line, but the therapist will sit patiently, listen to her for 1 hour. In the end, he'll say, would you like to just consider a different way you could have maybe spoken to him at that time? It's very time consuming. It's nice for the psychologists because then they make a lot of money. They will have 6 months of therapy. For philosophy, we will say अरे सुबह उठ के स्टडी करो ना, मेरा सिर नहीं खाओ. So there's no commercial value in this thing. So it actually you do need that. Even we do it sometimes, not that we never do it. For some people who have these kind of troubles do speak when we do attempt to help them, but it's not really the philosophy method. So it is the psychology method. If it's getting too much, the person will have to go to therapy.
Okay, thank you.
Vidushi. So gaining knowledge of the self refers to doing all three yogas, basically the whole process of reducing desires and not just jnana yoga. Yes, that's correct. You have to do the whole thing. You just take knowledge, you'll become an intellectual centipede. You have to do the whole thing. Now, you say, suppose somebody says, but I have no time, that's impossible. I cannot take on karma yoga. I can't do any work for the institution. I can't do anything for the university. So now I'm never going to evolve. No, Baba, it's not like that. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, work with the spirit of service. You don't have to go anywhere to do spirit of service. Anywhere you are, however you are, use the spirit of service or identify. You can do the three yogas basically anywhere. But if you do think about what is the maximum service I can do, then you have to figure out for yourself what is the greatest service you can do and to whom. That is something you have to answer for yourself. But so, yes, in answer to your question, Vidushi, yes, everybody has to do all three yogas if they wish to evolve. And you'll see the difference. Jayashree has gone. Jayashree, can I say you've gone to her native place and their religious places? I don't know, Jayashree, if you have realized that now that you're there, the bhakti is more than what it used to be earlier. Do you experience that? Isn't it? Bound to be, because the amount of karma this girl has done is something amazing. She's been working like 24/7. I never see her every day, Sunday also, because people want meetings on Sunday. Every day she's working. But the result of it is that emotions will get brought. So even the bhakti rises. You feel more devoted to the Lord. You feel His presence a lot more. It is not something which is some distant God somewhere, but it's something with you all the time, which I'm sure you all have also experienced. So, yes, you have to do all the three yogas and all three, the whole level rises as it. A Vedantin doesn't need to go to a place of worship. But at a place of worship, and I would say with almost 100% certainty that he would probably feel way more devotion than anyone else, he or she. Because the capacity to feel that is there now. He won't go, he won't go means he won't go out of his way to go, but he would feel it more. So, your family is going, they're saying you have to go, you go, no problem. Now, I'm sure Jayashree won't plan this trip, but she is gone. Her family is gone, so she is also gone. She's working from there also. That karma brings the jnana and the bhakti all together. Okay, so, Bharat announced.